If you feel like the corporate world isn't right for your brain and you're constantly fighting it, you're probably right. Today, I've got Anna Daphna in, who's an ADHD specialist. We're going to look at how the brain works for neurodivergent people and see how we can harness the energy and creativity that you get to push forwards in the modern age. Let's jump in. Anna, a really simple question to start with then. What is neurodivergence?
Neurodivergence or neurodiversity or neurominority is when the wiring of the brain is different to the neuromajority.
Okay.
It means that somebody might have dyslexia or ADHD or autism, and their wiring is quite different.
Okay. And how have you got into this area?
It happened by chance when I was in Athens, Greece. I mentored a boy. He was back then, I think in primary school, and he had dyslexia and ADHD. He was told at school that he was very lazy and he was not good enough, and he suffered his self-esteem, and then we worked many years together. So, yeah. Not only he became very good academically, but he did enter law school. But after many years of, coaching and mentoring.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
And I suppose that journey is not a quick one.
No.
Do you want to talk me through the journey he went through?
Yes, we just did study and revision. We worked on his regulation, on his identity, on his limiting beliefs. We worked around different strategies to work at school that worked very well with his learning style. We worked with the parents, with the school, many different things.
Okay, cool. And then one of the things you're really clear about is that you kind of refuse to call ADHD a disorder. Is it a superpower? What is it?
Many people like to call it superpower, but that does not align with everyone that experiences it. So for some people it might be a liability because they might have other conditions as well, or comorbidities like depression, anxiety, or deep neurodiversity. So they don't experience it like that. But as we know, most of the business owners and entrepreneurs have neurodiversity. Famous names like Richard Branson, Elon Musk, Disney, and they think outside the box. So in the right environment can be a strength. I don't want to call it superpower because for some people it doesn't resonate.
Yeah. Is it a case? I mean, my son's now dyslexic. We just had that diagnosis, so I'm kind of on this learning journey of how we support him, and it's been a really interesting road for us so far. And he's 10, so there's still a long journey to go. But is every person individual, or is there common traits in people?
Everyone has bespoke needs and characteristics, but there are some common traits in all of the neurodiversities. For example, we see often very low self-esteem, maybe sensitivity to criticism, executive function challenges, and nervous system dysregulation that can manifest, for example, in dyslexia. Obviously, might have a problem with reading. The processing speed can be different, but could also manifest in issues with planning, prioritizing, punctuality, managing emotions, remembering things, finishing things, starting things. It's different for everyone, but the executive function skills are usually underdeveloped when you have neurodiversity.
Okay, cool. I guess that starts at a really young age as well, so school's affected.
Yeah. The executive function skills are the CEO of the brain, and also is a predictor of future success based on Harvard study. But the good news is that when we work with these at any age, it can be improved. And if you start early, even better.
So it's effectively just like coaching, but just in a different way.
Function coaching.
How do you start that with someone that's young? How do you kind of get in there and convince them that there's nothing wrong with them? They're just different. Like, what's the starting block for that?
It depends on their interests and hobbies.
Okay.
If somebody loves football, I would say, who's your favorite footballer? Do they have a coach? How they go to the next level? I'm like that for you.
Yeah. So just trying to, I suppose, find a common theme.
Correct.
And then make them look at it differently.
Yeah, it's not about being different and needing help. Most people don't need help, or they feel resistant to that, but it's about going to the next level. And if they admire someone, this person most likely have somebody who have been there and knows how to get them to the next level. So that's a better way to buy into that.
Right, okay. So then they look at that person and think, well, if they've got someone, I can use you and push forward.
Yeah. And what has worked so far might not work in the future, or I have tried things that don't work, so I need to try something different.
Okay.
And also, it depends on the age group, because, children might need a play-based coaching. Teenagers, a different approach, and adults, maybe different approach, most probably. But with children, we use fun games to do coaching, so it's not boring.
Yeah, so they're not sat there thinking, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Is that where schools fail, do you think?
That's a very big question.
It is a big question, I guess.
I believe that schools have obsolete systems that are not catering for the neurodivergent brain, but more structured neurotypical brain. And not all of them, thank God, but they don't use bespoke programs for people that think differently, and then these people feel ashamed after because they cannot keep up, and they carry this, imposter syndrome for the whole of their lives.
Yeah,
most likely.
So it starts really young and just never goes.
And it's difficult to take it off.
Pull them out of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I see that a lot with the King's Trust. So going into schools, it's such a regimented kind of structure, and I guess it has to be because there's so many kids going through that process. But then you will have these young people that seem to just get lost, and no one's there for them. There's very little support, and I don't know what the solution is. Is there things that schools could do to improve how they care?
I know some schools do executive programs and courses, and that's all good, but it starts with awareness. Because you can use simple things like games, quizzes, challenges, even at home, at school, to practice these skills. And it doesn't have to be boring. So it's about awareness first, and then repetition, and then support, and then parenting, and, the teachers to do things properly.
And then I suppose taking that forward as a business owner, how do we prepare the environment for neurodiversity better? What do we need to do?
As a business owner, a lot of workplaces at the moment do not cater for neurodiversity, but compliance. And a lot of high achievers are burnout. And they have been masking for many years. So they have been the best performer in the job, but they have been self-betraying. I see that a lot with leaders I work with.
What do you mean by that?
They are not true to themselves. They don't ask for what they need. They work overtime. They might forget to sleep, eat.
So they're sacrificing themselves effectively for the bigger picture.
To get bravo.
Yeah.
That is, they need so much the validation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I suppose, what do you do to bring them back down to trying to focus?
Start working with their nervous system. Understanding where their energy is, what they're good at. I see a lot of them love the mission and vision of the company, but their daily tasks and responsibilities, they are not their natural strengths. So that's a very big problem, because they get fatigue and burnout. So the first thing is to have self-awareness. Am I good at that? Do I enjoy doing that? Because with ADHD in particular, having interest is very important in the task.
Right, okay. So they need to want to do it effectively.
Mm-hmm. So the dopamine is there, the motivation is there. I've worked with a founder that asked me, I really want to do admin, but I'm so rubbish at it. I cannot do it. And his brain is 10,000 pound per hour brain, but he wanted to do a 10 pound per hour task. And I'm like, delegate it. It's okay.
Yeah. I think a lot of entrepreneurs in general struggle with that.
Yeah.
It's like a control thing.
Yeah.
When you start off doing the thing you enjoy, then it becomes a job, or it becomes a business. And then you have many hats. So you have the admin hat, you have the sales hat, the marketing hat, you have every hat on. And that delegation over time is really difficult anyway. to throw a divergence in where you maybe struggle to focus or find it hard to trust or delegate it must be even harder. Did he manage to delegate in the end?
He did manage to delegate it, but he had shame over it, not doing admin. And I'm like, don't have, because your brain has different capabilities.
Yeah.
Can do many, many different things. I'm ashamed I cannot do admin.
I can't do admin either. Mate, I very much want to kind of focus on the bits that I enjoy.
Exactly.
And as you said, like maybe it is that dopamine hit. Like if I don't want to do admin, I don't want to do finance. I personally want to see growth in this, that, and the other, and therefore I focus on it. And everything else kind of falls the wayside, and I just can't focus on it. And I've struggled for many years to delegate, and there'll be some staff watching this just chuckling probably at my attempts at delegation sometimes. But it is hard to do. Like, have you got any tips on how people can get stuff off their desk? Is there anything that you've seen work in the past?
I'm now working with an amazing lady who is a leader, and she's also burnout. She has a team, and she has perfectionism though. She wants to do everything by herself, and she's not utilizing the team a lot. So we started working together on recording how she's doing it at the moment, and assigning a day in the week where she can ask questions and do last minute things. So nobody bothers her the rest of the days, because it has been a bit chaotic.
Okay, that perfectionism. I see that a lot, where people want it to be perfect, and actually if they just released it at stage B and then worked out C, D and E to make it perfect with feedback, they're getting a better place. Some people really want it to be 100% perfect before they release it, and then you compare Microsoft that release Windows 10, and on day one of release there's 200 bugs that need fixing. So if they can get away without it being perfect, why can't the rest of us? I was asked on a different podcast episode about like delegation. I've still got control of the finance. The money in the bank is mine, and I've always struggled to give it to someone else. And someone said, well, have you ever sent £10 to the wrong person? And I was like, yeah. It's like, well, why'd you get irate when someone else does it? I'm like, I don't know. And it's that perfection thing. I think entrepreneurs in their head, because they've always had so many hats, struggle to let go, because they think, well, I can do that and I can do that the best way. But actually, if you're distracted and can't focus properly, you probably can't do it. So in your head it's perfect. The reality is probably not.
And we can also, there is no perfection, as we know. The law of the universe is evolution, which means imperfection, actually. So just comparing yourself with the previous day is just a common advice, but I think trying to be more perfect to ourselves as well, especially if we don't have time to see our partner, our children, our family, and if that's the case, we try to be so perfect for others, but so imperfect for us.
So be more honest to ourselves, I guess. Kind of what
be more
we
compassionate.
Do people struggle with that? Is that something that you see, the honesty to yourself?
Yes, and that's because of masking of many years. When we are masking for many years, we don't know who we are, and it's very sad. But it can be reversed.
Is that really difficult for people to reverse, because they have to accept that what they thought they were and probably where they really are two different things?
Awareness, acceptance are key, but people are masking because they want to be accepted by other people. So, for example, the lady I was mentioning before, she does not, and many other neurodivergent people, a lot of times do not disclose their neurodiversity at work, because they're either afraid of being seen different, inferior, and in some other cases, I've worked with some people that work in very competitive environment, and they feel they might be also sacked,
Yeah. I think it's tough as an employer, because you want to support all of your staff the best way you can, because at the end of the day, if they produce, it's good for the business, and that concern by employees of, well, I don't want to tell anyone because I might get sacked or I might get pushed out, is kind of countered. But if we don't know, we can't adapt. We can't give you more time, or we can't refocus, or we can't plan better. Like I'm quite scatty and do everything at 100 miles an hour. It's just what I'm like. You know, I want to do it, and I want to do it yesterday.
Yeah.
And if I'm throwing stuff at someone and they've got divergence at all, it must be horrendous to work with me, because it's like, right, we're going off in this direction, and oh, well, hold on, we were over there, now we're over here. But if we don't know how to approach it with someone, then you know it's tough. Do people just need to be honest with their employees, do you think?
It depends on the culture of the business, you know.
Yeah.
If the business is neuro-inclusive, of course. If it's not, maybe it's the wrong job. And that's a thing and a theme and a pattern. And I want to work with leaders and high achievers. At some point in coaching, they search for a different job.
Yeah.
Because they become more attuned with the nervous system, what they need, what they're really good at. So it happens sometimes.
So that realisation that what they've thought they wanted and what they actually really now want as they've gone on that journey is different.
Yeah.
What percentage change their jobs?
50%.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's huge, really.
Yeah.
Like 1 in 2 kind of. And of course the other half are masking and probably aren't happy. They just don't necessarily have the confidence to jump.
And do you have neurodiversity, John?
I don't know. I'm sure I've got traits. I'm sure if we dug into it, I don't know. Do I struggle to focus? Yes. Do I struggle to plan? Yes. I don't know.
Because you mentioned your son that has dyslexia.
Oliver's dyslexic. So, but then he's 10, and they've just done the reading stuff in school, and he's got the reading age of a 15-year-old. So he's reading. Like, his head is constantly in books. Like, he's always reading, and I couldn't imagine anything worse than sitting and reading a book. It just doesn't excite me at all. But his mum, she reads books all the time, so he's got it from that. But his brain is wired in a different way. You can see that he learns in a different way, and we've always tried to just coach him through that, and we've never seen it as dyslexic specifically, but he struggles with his handwriting, and he struggles with his, he kind of, the words are there, but he can't necessarily spell them right or get them out. That's where he struggles.
Yeah, of course.
But his maths is fantastic, and his reading, so it's like some bits are really, 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 really strong, and then some bits are really, really, really weak, and he's going to have to learn over time how to develop that.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a journey, because no one teaches you how to be a parent, do they?
Exactly,
no one says this is how you train. And I'm quite a pushy parent.
Yeah.
I think, like, we'll be in a restaurant, go and ask for the bill. You want a drink, go and ask for a drink. You want some more tomato sauce, go and ask for it. I'm not going to ask for you. If you want it, have the confidence to go and ask. And we've done that from a very young age. Like,
That's good.
Even Maddie, who's 3, like, we were out the other day and she wanted a drink. I was like, off you go. Then she'd stand at the bar and look up and be like, please, can I have a straw? And so we are quite pushy in that. But they all learn in different ways anyway, because every child is different.
Exactly.
So then when you throw in the dyslexia, it's kind of like, well, what do we do now? And I don't know. It's a really tough one for parents. And I guess if you're dealing with ADHD as well, or anything else in that kind of space, it must be really tough for people. So it's really interesting that you kind of go in and coach those younger ones.
Yeah, and some children can be very gifted as well, and having neurodiversity. So I worked with a psychotherapist, one-to-one. Her daughter, she's dyslexic. Neurodiversity usually runs in family, so her daughter was dyslexic. She chose to homeschool her. She was a single mom. She was working as a therapist in a caravan. And her daughter was homeschooled as well, which is not very easy for a single parent and even for a normal couple, and doesn't work for every personality. But the lady gave her daughter a mobile phone, an iPhone. And everyone told her, why do you give her an iPhone? She will be so distracted. And her daughter learned how to type and read and write because she was texting her friends. Yeah. So that worked, It's
crazy, isn't it? How there's a balance there, I think. I work in technology, so I can't sit there and slag it off. It's literally my business. But you know, I think back 30 years, like what did our parents do? Because there wasn't any technology, there wasn't phones to learn to read or write. It was, there's a pen and paper, there's a book, and
True.
you know, if you can harness that technology to help move people along, especially if they can focus on it, then why not?
To finish the story, she now performs on stage in theatres in London, and is very successful. But if she was in a school environment that was not supportive for her, she would think she couldn't do anything. So the environment dictates performance first, and then for the neurodivergent people that lack self-esteem, is best, I think, to do group activities that they're very good at, so they get self-esteem and confidence, and one-to-one subjects and things that they are not very good at.
Are you supportive of homeschooling?
In her case, it worked, but I have seen other students I worked with that didn't work because they needed a lot of social contact with friends, and they were missing that. So I think when you do homeschooling, it's best to have a lot of extracurriculum activities every day. So there is the social element, and then do group activities, things that the children are good at, and one-to-one things that they struggle, so they build the self-esteem in private.
Right, okay. I never knew that. So I used to have a trampoline park, and we used to have sessions during the day, during the school day, so 9 till 3, for people that were homeschooled. And I never really understood why they used to come in big groups, and that kind of explains it, that it is the social side. We'd literally have like 20 kids turn up at 11 o'clock in the morning. You'd be like, where have all these people come from? And it was because they'd be talking at home, all the parents would be talking, and all right, we're all going to go and do this together. And that social part of it is massive. And like, it's so easy when you get homeschooled to lose that, I guess. You know, you lose contact with your kids, and if they haven't then got other activities after school, I suppose, how do they learn to interact with people? And
they can do the 3 subjects that they need to sit for GCSEs, for example, if you are in the UK, and then all of the other learning they do as part of extracurriculum activities could be thematic, could be linked to the curriculum, but the parent needs to be on top of that, and the child needs to also want it. It doesn't work for everyone, but for some people it can work. Yeah.
What are the 3 subjects?
The 3 subjects: English, math, science, isn't it? The main ones.
Yeah.
And
So the core subjects they have to do.
Yeah.
And then everything else is.
And then you can go to museums, learn about things, do research. You can have fun, like thematic, playful activities that you learn, but in a very interesting way, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Interesting statistics are people with ADHD are 300% more likely to start their own business.
Yeah.
I think that's a crazy stat.
Wow.
Why do you think that is? What do you see?
Because they are pioneers, usually. They think outside the box. They find solutions to problems. They have speed, usually. Creativity. Okay. And this is what we need now, more and more.
When you say they've got speed, how is that deployed? How do you see that happening?
They have their brain thinks like a Ferrari, you know?
So they just don't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I've got it then, because this is me.
A lot of entrepreneurs have it. Actually, the vast majority. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of them, like my brain never stops. Like there's always thinking, what's next? And there is probably an element of never finishing one before you go on to the next.
Yeah, the shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, shiny object syndrome, 100%. I've got that.
Me too.
It's probably the devil for entrepreneurs, because you could just go, ooh.
That looks good.
Look at that. Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah, great idea. And
I can buy that company for £1.
Yeah, I can buy that one for £1. I'll buy that one for £1. I bought the trampoline park for £1. It is the devil's work, because you sit there and instead of focusing and going, do you know what, this is what we're going to focus on.
Yeah.
You end up going off on a tangent.
Yeah.
And then
I relate.
I suppose then all the staff are like, well, hold on, like, what's the priority here? Is it this or is it that? And then you lose your direction and everything else that you're doing as well. I don't know how to combat that. I don't know if there's a solution, or I just have to accept it and try and acknowledge it when it happens, but just be more aware of it and go, that's not the right idea.
we cannot ask ourselves to be disciplined when we have a dysregulated nervous system. And a lot of times with neurodiversity, the nervous system is on fight or flight, which is the adrenaline-based and cortisol-based system. And when we are overstretched or overstressed, we cannot prioritize properly. We cannot tap into the executive function of the brain. So if we are emotionally dysregulated or we have sensory overload, which can be the case for neurodiversity, we cannot strategize, we cannot prioritize properly. So the first thing for me is nervous system regulation. And that can take time, especially if we have been overcompensating for a long time for the people that are masking.
Yeah.
And they're exhausted. It needs time. But it's about the nervous system, resetting the nervous system, and then tapping into the priorities of the day and just making the boring things exciting.
Okay, cool.
How do you do that, though?
How do you do that? That is the question. You talk about the focus framework.
Oh, yeah.
Can you talk us through the different elements of focus?
Yeah. Flow versus hyperfocus. Flow is when we are in a creative state where we forget about time, but we're not exhausted. With hyperfocus, if we don't put a deadline, we might forget to sleep. And I think sleep is very important to reset the nervous system. We get organization. We get organized when our nervous system is in balance, when there is homeostasis, and when we're not depleted, when we're not frozen, when we're not on overdrive all the time. Confidence and inner resources we get when we have successes, when we believe in ourselves and when we see evidence of it coming true. And then we can be more productive. So when identity, nervous system, and executive function align, then we can have the best results with this framework. And we can tap into our strengths.
Right, okay. So that's the kind of pinnacle of where you want to get to.
Mm-hmm.
On that journey, how many people get there? Is that something that you kind of aim for, but you just accept that there's going to be bumps and like some good times and some bad times?
Everyone is different because everyone has different depth of neurodiversity and other circumstances. Also, everyone puts different effort before and during the sessions. But I see success in everyone that puts in the work or is in the coaching space, because just being in the coaching space with somebody that can guide you through that helps with your reflection a lot on your metacognition in executive function terms, and helps regulate your nervous system and make you aware of where is your energy leaking, where can you do differently, what can you delegate, where have you been training yourself, what can you ask, how can you be more assertive at work, what can you accept, what can you let go, what can you sacrifice as well. Sometimes people don't want change, but they don't want to sacrifice anything.
So it's very much
difficult.
about looking internally and asking those questions.
Yeah.
Kind of, I bet you some of the answers are really enlightening. Do you talk through those answers then with people? Is that the process really? You're sat there and you'll ask and they just have to open themselves up?
Yes. I ask them questions, and based on these questions, they can come up with answers, but I can also give suggestions based on a lot of neurodiversity friendly, I would say strategies. But first we work with the identity and the nervous system, and then we work with strategies.
Okay.
Because if we work with strategies first, nothing will stick over time. It's about believing that I can be more organized, believing that I can be a good leader and I can delegate, believing that I can ask for one or two things at school or at work.
So that's self-belief really, just building that confidence up.
Mm-hmm. I'm a confident person who asks for what they want. I am a confident leader that I can, teach my team how to do things, and I trust my team to deliver instead of doing everything myself.
How do people become more confident?
By trying a lot of things and by being more self-aware, managing their energy better, having some systems, documenting mistakes.
Okay, cool. What can you walk us through why trying harder kind of fails if the nervous system isn't regulated?
Because you cannot be disciplined with a dysregulated nervous system. You cannot speed in a sports car if there is no gas inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
So dysregulation, kind of what symptoms what does it look like? How does it portray itself?
In masking, for example, you don't feel your body. You can even be dissociated in the freeze, stuck, immobilized state. You can even be depressed. Before that is always on the go. Always I need to chase something. Always I need to fight for something, the fight or flight. If I'm always at these two states, performance, I think, is a matter of state first. So biology beats strategy. So we need to find ways to, to reset the nervous system to be open. Then we can be open to learning, open to connections, open to understanding what I need and ask for it. Otherwise, I don't understand what I need because I'm so disconnected with my own body.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
You mentioned depression. Is that... I think, and maybe I'm wrong in this, and maybe it's a really blunt view, but kind of I've always been like, I don't have time for depression. I've got to move forward. I've got to keep going forward.
Yeah.
I don't have time for the stress. I've got to deliver. I've got 77 staff now. I've got to keep pushing forward. I don't allow myself to go into that state of reflection. And maybe that's a really hard nose, but maybe I've just got no feelings. I don't know. I've never tried to understand it, but depression seems to be getting more and more visible across the general population. Do you see a lot of people with ADHD have depression as well? Does it just go hand in hand?
Yeah, I see it a lot because they have been on a wrong journey for a young age. Told they're stupid at school. I hear that a lot. Thought they're lazy, went on the wrong path career-wise because they don't know who they were at school, because they were masking from school, because they were in the wrong school. But some school can be better. So some research on that. And then when people are in the wrong job and their values are not, there is no coherence between their behavior, feelings and actions. So they do things they don't believe in, they don't light them up. I see they're depressed as well. And it has to do with ADHD because with ADHD, as we said, there is this nervous system dysregulation a lot of times, and there is research on that as well. And you don't feel your body sometimes. So when you don't know how you're feeling and what you need, then you do wrong things.
Okay. I find it so hard to relate.
Okay.
And I don't mean that in a harsh way. I just, my brain doesn't work in that fashion, and it's really interesting to try and understand it because
with the depression, you mean?
Yeah, and ADHD to a certain extent. Because I want to be able to look after my employees better. I want to be able to mentor people better, and I think if I can't put my brain where other people are, sometimes it's kind of like, well, come on, just let's move, let's be happier, let's go. And it's not. I understand it's not that easy sometimes for people, and mental health is a huge issue at the moment. And it's trying to find out what motivates people. Yeah. And it's just different. Yeah. And everyone is different.
But that means that you're aligned and your values are aligned with what you're doing. For a lot of people, that's not the case.
Yeah. And that's why.
For a lot of people, not everyone.
Cool. Okay. You spoke about a concept called the 66-day rule.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember it?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what it was.
Okay.
So, where it takes 21 days to build a habit.
I see.
And I think you then argued that for neurodiverse brains, it's actually 66 kind of iterations. Mm-hmm. Why do we need to give ourselves more time to get something done?
Yeah, first of all, it depends on the habit, how difficult it is. If it's simple, it's easier to build. But for neurodiversity, neurodivergent brains, we need more reiterations based on research and on evidence, because if we do something different, we change our routines, let's go on a trip, everything starts from zero.
So it's kind of breaking that habit. We have to start from scratch straight away again.
We need more iterations and more compassion, more time, to give more time, usually.
Are we hard on ourselves?
I see it a lot, but not everyone has the same profile. I see it a lot that, this inner voice can be...
The devil.
Hijacking the nervous system, the identity, everything, the emotions.
And that, I guess, takes us all the way back to kind of where we were talking earlier about just being kind to yourself and reflecting. Mm-hmm. And if you can't do that, you then can't move forward.
Mm-hmm. You can choose a different thought. It's just if we have been conditioned to think of negativity, is harder, but it can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there tips that you can give people to kind of be kinder to yourself?
I believe the more you overcome adversity, the more you get to be yourself. So if somebody is teenager and finds school difficult, things will get easier because GCSEs is the first gate you need to cross. Then you have less subjects. A-levels is easier then. And then if you choose to go to university, you just have 1 or 2 subjects. It's even easier if you choose correctly. So all positive.
So it's just seeing the positives instead of the negatives on it.
And that's the only way to go forward, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how do people, like if they don't know what they want, how do they move forward? Is it just a case of trying lots of things, putting themselves out there, which must be quite hard if you've got a lack of self-confidence to do?
Yeah. If somebody is completely demotivated, is trying different things that you would never think of trying, and see what makes you happy, what brings a sense of purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that just looking at what they enjoy? Just think I'm going to go and try that today.
As well.
Putting themselves out there and seeing what gives them that good feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess school doesn't allow them to do that. From what I see in school, I mean, I go to school kind of once a week at the moment to do mentoring, and it's so boxed in. This is what we're doing.
I struggled at school myself.
Did you?
Yeah.
Why did you struggle?
I found it extremely boring for my attention span. And I was always daydreaming and looking outside the window. So the subjects I was excited about, I was top student. And then the others.
Why do you think you excelled in some and not others?
I excelled despite all of this.
Well, why do you think you were good at some subjects and not good at others? Like, what was the difference between the two?
The teacher.
Right, okay.
The way the teaching was, and my own interest is very important with neurodiversity and ADHD, because I do have ADHD.
Okay. Did I see that you became a teacher? Is that where you started?
I was a teacher before.
Done my research today.
You did. Yes, so I started. I have a teaching qualification from Athens, and then I moved to the UK. I studied psychology and then coaching and some business. Many things I've studied, but off the record, some off the record. I mean, I love learning anyway. Anyway, I was a teacher for many years in central London.
Right, okay.
Many schools, many special schools actually.
So in that kind of special education space.
I've seen all of the things.
Yeah. Do you think that came from you struggling at school and you thinking, I want to try and make a difference?
I want to try and make a difference. It's difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then you obviously left teaching to become a kind of coach.
Yeah.
What was that transition like?
It was meant to be. I was so exhausted at schools, working in special schools, especially the types I chose for some reason, were very difficult, and we had to even physically restrain some students, so it was a bit violent at times in some of the schools I worked. And then you had to do admin, you had to do the teaching, you had to lead other teachers, you had to be a manager, you had to restrain, you had to be everything. And I just non-stop.
Yes, that burnout that you spoke of earlier.
Exactly.
That's kind of where you ended up.
Exactly, yeah.
I suspect a lot of teachers feel that in normal schools as well.
Maybe, probably, yeah.
Okay, and then I'm just interested to understand the kind of mental switch. So you went from the kind of teaching every day to this isn't going to work for me anymore. I need to go and do it on a more one-to-one basis.
I always wanted to start a business, and in Athens I had my own business. So it was a natural continuation. But yeah, after school I did many business courses. I'm excited about business as well. I love coaching business owners as well.
Yeah.
And work with business people too.
Okay.
So it was exciting.
How did you find your first client?
I linked up with a partnering organization, and they sent me some referrals.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of went into partnership to start
Straight, yeah.
Did that Did you spend a lot of time planning that move, or was it kind of, I'm sick of this, I'm going?
Yeah, I didn't plan it. I mean, it's part of who I am to do this. And so, I don't know, after school I was doing some trainings, speaking with people, and it just happened. It's just, I like linking people together and meeting people and connecting people, so it was natural.
Right, okay, so it's just like a natural progression more than a...
The difficult part was the exhaustion and then getting out of that space, but yeah.
And how's that changed you? If you're obviously no longer burnt out, which is a good thing.
I am not. I work with my energy, not against it. Definitely, I'm not betraying myself. I choose how many people I want to work with. Obviously, you have to put a lot of hats, but I do love it, and I think it's a great way of personal development to have a business.
Yeah.
You know more than me about that.
No. I suppose that's a really interesting one. They said you choose how many clients you work with, and you get to choose who you work with. Is that flexibility something that you really appreciate?
Oh yeah, I'm very grateful. Very grateful.
How often do you decide you don't want to work with someone?
I give people a chance.
Okay.
But if the chemistry is not there, it's important to listen to your body as body intelligence, but it will work better for the client. You know, where there is chemistry, research shows that there is better results.
Yeah.
So it works both ways.
Cool. How often or how long do you work with people? Is it kind of, does it vary, or you just tend to be with someone for quite a long time? You obviously mentioned that young child earlier. Did you see him go all the way through from a very young age all the way through to university?
Yes. And I do that with some children and students that have complex needs. We work for years. From study and revision to dating to social skills, communication, being more assertive, to general executive function and identity, nervous system work. But some people just need 6 months, a year.
Yeah. You obviously said you kind of struggled at school a little bit. Were you given those sort of labels of lazy and stupid? It's quite a personal question, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fine. The teacher told my parents I was not paying attention, and I pick up things fast, but I don't study, which can be true. Some subjects, not every subject.
Yeah.
What subjects I was like,
did you enjoy?
Philosophy, psychology, English a bit, literature, not maths and biology and things like that.
Yeah, I suppose they all kind of come out of the same kind of framework, don't they? And then the stuff you didn't like, the maths, the science, would be the direct opposite, I guess. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there subjects that a lot of neurodivergent people do get on with versus they don't, or is it really varied?
It varies. I mean, some people tell me I'm not good at English. Well, English has many aspects. It has the reading, the listening, the speaking, the writing, the comprehension. And they realize they're not very strong in some parts of it, especially writing is very complex because it has a lot of, skills. All the executive function skills need to be involved, like being regulated enough to write something, organize my thoughts.
Yeah.
Have I done a mind map or whatever I need? Do I need to plan, prioritize my ideas correctly? Start, finish, sustaining my attention, all of it. Reflecting about what I'm writing, be flexible about the words, and it involves all of them. So it's difficult.
Yeah. How do we get rid of that lazy label for good? Like it seems to be put on people.
It's not about laziness. It's about the nervous system is fed up and cannot function, and it's about putting ourselves in environments where people can thrive.
Okay, and how do we find that environment?
Sometimes we have to create it ourselves.
Yeah.
Or do some research and find a better alternative, and surround ourselves with people that are good, and challenges. Challenge is good for ADHD and neurodiversity. We need this push. Keeps you motivated.
Yeah.
It's very good.
You said about finding people that are good. Is that social circle really key for neurodivergence? It's like they work better in teams, do you think?
some people might have social anxiety when you have neurodiversity, and they can be very, very shy. So it depends on the profile. Some people can be very bubbly, but definitely we need connections as humans. So I think that's important.
Yeah.
How you get it is
that
important.
bubbliness sometimes a shield, do you think? Like they put, we spoke earlier, kind of the barriers and putting stuff up and trying to be yourself. I sometimes wonder if that really outgoing bubbliness is actually kind of a defensive mechanism.
Correct. Yeah, I was working with a student, university, and he's very confident alpha male, and he got a great, amazing internship in the summer in finance. And he was struggling with social anxiety because he couldn't let silence happen or pause. He needed to fill the gaps, and he was always, as you said, talking all the time. So that's about masking and not being, confident in your own body, and
just hated the silence.
You don't have to become best friends with everyone, but he didn't get it back then.
Yeah. I feel like that's an age lesson as much as anything.
Maybe.
I think you learn that over.
Yeah.
You can't be everyone's friend.
Tell us the lesson, John.
I don't have a lesson. I think I've just got to a point where I've accepted that I'm not going to be everyone's friend, and some people will love me and some people will hate me. And
good. That's a great attitude.
Yeah. But it's taken me many years to get there. Like, you always want to do your best for everyone. I just think the reality sometimes the best for some people is not the best for you, and you just have to accept that and do what's right most of the time. Like, go back to the perfection thing. You can't be perfect all the time, and it's tough, isn't it? Like, you want to be liked. You want to be that person that everyone wants to be with and wants to be around.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's that simple.
Yeah. And a lot of times the cool person at school is not the cool person after school.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happens. You tell me.
I don't know either, but I don't know. I mean, I don't really speak to anyone from school anymore. So,
me neither, just one person.
So I've kind of lost that friendship group over the years. It was 20 years ago that I left school, so it's a long time.
How was school for you?
School for me was good.
Okay.
I can't say I worked particularly hard, but I was top sets for everything, kind of cruised through it, did the work, got the grades, but never really studied. Just kind of flowed through, really. Never really had any problems. Had a bit of bullying and stuff, but kind of moved past it. But yeah, school for me wasn't
a problem.
Bad. It wasn't a problem. I didn't enjoy it, but I didn't hate it. There'd be days I didn't want to go to school, or there'd be lessons I didn't like. But I kind of just
went with it.
And I guess I'm still like that now. I'm quite relaxed. I'm probably nearly laid down. I'm not laid back normally, and I don't have time for stress. I just want to get on with stuff, and I think that's how I always.
How you deal with stress, because you have so many successful ventures. I'm just curious how you do it.
How do I deal with stress?
Yeah,
I feel like stress is a wasted emotion.
Okay.
So I tend to, if there's a situation that is going to be stressful, I'd rather just deal with it and get it done, and move past it, instead of sitting there stressing and procrastinating and thinking, oh my God, like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to have that conversation. I don't want to deal with whatever the situation is, and then getting worked up. Very much I'm like, well, we'll either deal with it or we just ignore it, and there's no middle ground. And if we're ignoring it, then it's gone and it's dealt with by just, it isn't there anymore. Or if it's something that needs dealing with, we'll just get on and do it. There'll be people watching thinking, how is stress a wasted emotion? Like, that's the most bizarre phrase, but I just feel like if I spend time worrying about something,
it's just energy leaking.
Yeah, it's just energy that I've got that isn't productive. And that's not to say that I don't worry about stuff or stress about stuff. Like, there'll be times when we'll be working on something big, and I sleep pretty well.
Oh, that's good.
But there will be times when there'll be a night where I just don't sleep because something's going around in my head constantly, and I can't. I'm trying to solve the problem, and my head just won't let it go. But in general, I just, in my head, I'm like, let's just go for it. Let's just get rid of it. And instead of letting it build up, like, well, I'll not do that today, I'll do it tomorrow. And then you worry about it all day because you've pushed it away and you've procrastinated. So then you worry about it that evening because you haven't done it, and now you've got to do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and you push it back again. Instead of dealing with it, you delay it, which builds up the stress. I think I'm very much I'd rather just get on with it. If it's an uncomfortable conversation, it's better to have it and get it out of the way than distract yourself by it.
Eat the frog first.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, that's, I don't want to say I never feel stress, but that's probably how I deal with stress, is just getting on with fixing it.
Yeah.
I mentioned sleep there. Is sleep a big thing?
Yeah. I want to say something before. I think emotions and sensations we have in our body are feedback mechanisms that tell us that we need to do something. So that's a great way to deal with that. I haven't looked into something. Sleep is very important because without sleep, our executive functions are not working at all.
How much sleep do we need?
It's very individual. I definitely need 8-9 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Every night?
Of course.
No.
I am very loyal to sleep. More loyal than going out.
What time do you go to bed?
It depends how I'm feeling, but I do like 8 hours of sleep. I normally have 7 though.
Okay.
But some people are very lucky that can have less, but it's very important for our brain to work properly.
Yeah. I guess I'm kind of similar, but I'm a night owl.
What time do you sleep?
Midnight.
Oh, me too. Around that.
And
or 1 o'clock.
Or 1 o'clock, yeah.
Yesterday I slept at 2 o'clock.
Yeah. I feel like I perform best in the evening.
Okay.
At night, I just feel like if I've got work to do, that's the best time I'll perform, which is not that useful when you've got 3 kids. But I don't know why, but then so between like 10 and midnight, I'll genuinely work. But it might fall to 1 o'clock, it might fall to 2 o'clock. So then all of a sudden I get 4 hours sleep instead of 7 or 8 hours sleep because the kids will be up at 6 and then you're back up again. I seem to go through phases where I'll have days and days and days of 4, 5, 6 hours of kip, and then I'll have one night when I'll go to bed at 7 o'clock. The kids are going to be in bed, I'll go to bed at 7 and I'll wake up at 7 and I'll get 12 hours sleep. That just seems to refresh me. I don't know why, but I seem to go through that kind of, I know I need the sleep, but I've got stuff to do.
Yeah.
So I'll do that stuff now, and then my body will go, a bit tired here, mate. You need to sort yourself out.
Yeah.
My performance will drop.
Exactly.
I'll probably feel groggy. I'll probably feel a bit ill. I'll start getting headaches. I'll be like, I'm going to go to sleep early tonight. And then 7, half 7, I'll be in bed and I'll get 12 hours kip. And then all of a sudden, I'm back to where I was, which I guess is that whole regulation thing. Your body's telling you something's wrong.
Yeah. And it's very important. Sleep, hydration, diet, sports, exercise, and sunshine.
Sunshine.
Yeah, I know it's difficult.
It's difficult.
You can go holidays, or you can do it artificially with some happy lamps, how they call them. I don't know.
What, do you think we get enough happiness in our life?
It's our choice, I believe. Happiness has to do for me with the quality of questions you ask, the type of profession or business that you do, if it fulfills you, it has a sense of purpose for you, the quality of your relationships, and of course your biology. We will feel bad if we eat junk food and don't sleep. So I think biology first, and then your social environment. Yeah. And what you do for career, your vocation.
And then that hydration you mentioned, water's obviously key. How often do you see people that are divergent drinking energy drinks or sugar and thriving off negatives?
That's the worst. That's the worst for ADHD. But it needs to be a limit to it. I don't like sugar, obviously, we know. It's linked with many, many different diseases and exacerbates the hyperactivity. It gives you a boost, but then you can crash. For some people, you can crash.
So like peak and trough. And if you get that multiple times a day, it just makes it worse.
Yeah, sugar is not.
Not
as you know. Yeah.
I mean, I used to be addicted to caffeine.
Oh, me too. I love my coffee. The day cannot start properly without.
How many coffees a day do you have?
It's fine. 2.
2?
Yeah.
What, 1 in the morning and 1 at lunch? Or
after lunch. And then I might have a matcha latte, but without sugar, no dairy, and a lot of different mushrooms and other superfoods.
Is matcha the way forward? I don't know. I've never had it.
Not the matcha in Starbucks, though. Maybe my matcha has supplements inside.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm a bit into, healthy diet and things like that.
Okay.
I'm learning more.
I've never had it.
Really?
No. Is this something I need to go and do?
It depends on the matcha. I know it's unhealthy how you drink it outside, but I only have once. I will send it to you. It's a sub. I'm not doing promotion though, but it's so good. It's. I feel very energized after. Yeah.
Okay, wicked. I'm going to stick that on my cheat sheet. If there's a business owner listening or watching who feels like they're constantly fighting their brain to succeed, what's one thing they could do today to try and get past that?
Work with their biology and their wiring, and then we can work with a strategy first to put more energy inside the engine.
Okay, so focus on their energy levels first more than anything.
How they manage their energy better. What can they eliminate? What can they delegate? How can they prioritize better? Where can they ask for support? What do they need in their lifestyle to change before they can have more capacity and more bandwidth to deal with more issues?
Awesome. So you've started bringing people together kind of once a month in a supper club. Do you want to talk me through that?
Yeah, I started in July with the first dinner was around 5 people. Now, last dinner in February, we were about 17 people. So the idea is bringing people together, neurodivergent people together, or those that support the neurodivergent community to connect, share issues, wins as well, and eat and have fun and have a good time.
Okay, and that's once a month?
That's once a month. People love it.
Super.
And it's amazing so far.
We'll definitely try and get the link into the description so people can look that up and book on.
ADHD Supper Club.
Super.
I love it.
We're moving towards the end. It's been a great hour. I genuinely ask a few really normal, like the same question to everyone, just so we know where we're going, and it's really interesting the answers that we get. So there's 4 questions today. The best decision you've ever made in life or business?
To honor my needs, my nervous system, my values, to be more coherent than before.
And how did you get to that point?
A decision.
A decision. Was it a big build up to that decision, or did you just?
I've always knew it. I was just procrastinating.
Okay. Why? Where does that procrastination come from?
Can be ADHD related, but it can be perfection. Can be not feeling ready and worthy sometimes for some people. But for me, the timing was at that point.
Awesome. Okay. And then the counter argument, is there a decision that you regret or the worst decision?
Yeah, to betray my own nervous system and my own values for masking, yeah.
And you did that, I suppose, every day for a long time?
For many years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless you.
It's a process.
Cool. What would you say to a 20-year-old Anna?
Follow your dreams, find a mentor, see what the market needs, what you're good at, what you enjoy doing. Bring it together.
And are her dreams that she had now where you are today?
If I dreamt of that, I always want to do psychology and coaching, and I love connecting with people and working with people.
Amazing.
And bringing people together.
Cool. And then the last one, the best book you've ever read?
Many of them. God. I'll say a few. The Myth of Normal by Dr. Gabor Mate, I'm reading now. Breath by James Nestor. Amazing about how we breathe wrong and how that can help our parasympathetic nervous system. These 2 for sure.
Super.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for your time today. It's been
my
amazing
pleasure.
to have you on. It's been a great conversation.
Pleasure.